If I had to say what is the defining feature of HRL, it's about creating novel and potentially disruptive ideas, but then moving them out to the field. That is actually a rare culture in this business. There's not a lot of places that can claim to have that as their mission space. I believe firmly that the reason HRL has that culture is because of the 20 years you served here as the chairman of our board, guiding this organization and influencing it to always be thinking about, let's take risks, let's do creative and important and novel things, but always with an eye of getting them to the field. So I want to thank you for that.
So I was doing work with Boeing and I was doing work with Raytheon. And I had done some work with General Motors earlier when those three companies were all involved in buying the Hughes businesses. I was sort of a natural person to chair a board which was going to have representatives from Boeing, from Raytheon, and from General Motors. The large companies had plenty of mass and not much velocity, and the small companies had very little mass and lots of velocity. So the idea was, could we find a combination to get mass times velocity? HRL has really moved up the value chain. The contract research grew from 27 million to 527 million, about a factor of 20. One of the defining moments occurred fairly early in the scene when Boeing and Raytheon, some of them didn't want to share work with each other or have their work shared with others. Raytheon decided to leave the business. But then it gave us a better basis to be able to share things with all of the partners, because Boeing and General Motors had very little prospects for competition. But my interest has always been, and it's even more so now, in making a difference. One of the things that certainly excites me, because I'm worried about it, is climate change. I'm afraid the more I've learned about it, the more concerned I am about it happening faster and creating bigger problems than we now see. What I hope will be a lasting element of my tenureship as chairman would be taking some risk, to be innovative, to trying some things that are new and different. We have to suffer some failures if we're really looking at some of the hard things to do. One really has to work hard, and sometimes when the door we're working on is closed and we try and it's not working, we need to go find another door.
It would be impossible to find a way to really commemorate the deep and profound influence you've had on this organization. The best we could do was rename this auditorium the Paul G. Kaminski Auditorium. It'll be here for a very long time, as long as HRL stands. So thank you for your service, and thank you for everything you've done for HRL.
Well, I thank you for that, and maybe not so much for myself, but for my grandchildren and their grandchildren and their peers, to be able to see a place like HRL where they have a chance to do some great things.
I still treasure your advice and counsel, and just want to thank you.
Thanks, Marty.
Thanks, Paul.